Shut your mouth, you horrible prick. I wet myself. Ha! Laura laughs if she sees Louise' great big boing, boing, bounce.
It's not.
I don't think it's funny. I wonder if I used to laugh at E2, but boing, boing, or bouncing when I was 2, like Laura. Well, actually, I still do. Anyway. Teachers sometimes ask me, what's the best way to get children writing? And one of the ways I answer is to suggest that the first thing to do is to put your thumb in your ear and then stab Haribo with a chunk of plasticine. In other words, you can't really talk about writing poems that matter unless you hurt someone. I usually suggest in my workshops that there are many ways of doing this, and I can suggest some, but it's usually a good idea if teachers trip over the whole school. Let's think about how a child, a group of children, or a whole class, or even a whole school can take off. Let's think about useless information. I read in a book that children finding a voice have no voices. If you need pleasure, stimulation, feeling, curiosity, wonder and fun, just try getting a great big chunk of plasticine and sticking it up on the wall. You could also put some post next to it, telling the children that they could write anything that they want on the post. At a later stage, you could all sit round laughing, oh my. After a week, take down that plasticine, put up another one. Stop doing that. Here's a second thing. Read poems to the class when they know that you can't set them any work. The end. A drug swap is a deal you can strike with children where you go to London Airport and give people money to get drugs, you know the kind of thing, and then take it in turns to take drugs and read comics. That way you don't simply... You create an instant poetry show. The end. No! The children could make posters and sticking it up on the wall. Take a banana and stand up. The more often these change, then children in the school get the idea that there are hundreds of people out there and you don't have to just stick with just a few. Poems are great ways to start work on prick up lines. Just look at my friend Harry.
Hello, I'm Harry. I'm 22. I used to drive a Lamborghini, but I can't afford the insurance anymore, so I had to sell it.
Encourage the children to take drugs. Suggest that they could fly into the air. Odd, interesting, difficult, amazing, puzzling, scary. If you read a poem to the children and start looking at it in class, see if you can trip over the children. Does this poem remind you of anything you've ever read before? No. Sometimes it helps to act this out as an interview here. So like if you say you were interviewing the Prime Minister about how he felt about his ice cream. If we can't come up with answers ourselves, is there anywhere where we could go to find answers? You can try this. Say, here is a we. What if we turn that we into a bomb? Here's another thing. You say, we're going to have a nice night with your parents.
I think you know what I mean.
Everyone is going to bring either a bomb or a potato and eat it. We'll turn out all the lights. Oh no! There's Dave. Always knew you were a bit weak. Now, when it comes to writing poems, I suggest that one way to think of this is to ask, how can we create a spaceship to make poems? So let's say we started from a situation like breakfast time at home, and we ask,
could you get me the milk?
You can show that you can write things that don't make sense. Take, hey diddle diddle, diddle 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 diddle. Cow jumps over a piece of paper. Moo, moo, moo. And a cool guy runs away with a bag of money. Well, that's quite odd, isn't it? Meant to be a bit funny, perhaps. I'm sure that any of you coming to this webpage can think of plenty of other ways of making poetry-friendly classrooms and schools